What is up, guys? Delboy here. Just a quick post-fight thoughts video to Anthony Joshua versus Wladimir Klitschko, and we've got to start by saying what a fight. I was really looking forward to this fight, but I have to admit, when I didn't expect it to be that great. I didn't expect it to be sort of that nail-biting and that sort of dramatic. It was an excellent fight, and it's going to be one of my boxing memories that I'm going to look back on, because I'm still a young fan. I'm 22, and that is one of the most enjoyable moments as a boxing fan I've lived through. I watched it with my friends who know nothing about boxing. Just a bunch of they're not even casuals. They literally know nothing about boxing, and I watched the Fury versus Klitschko fight with those guys as well, and that fight didn't go down well. They were really reluctant to watch the fight, but I persuaded them to watch it. And after that fight, Joshua Klitschko was buzzing, and that's the thing with boxing. Boxing at its best, you can't match it. There's no other sport that comes close. Boxing at its worst, I can see why it turns fans off, But just an excellent night. Really enjoyed myself, and one of the memories that I'm going to look back on, I think, because it was just an excellent, really good fight. So where do we start, man? Where do we start? I'm not really going to go round by round because I'm a bit late with it. I was out last night watching it, so I couldn't really do one then and there. But the first sort of 4 rounds, like the first 3 or 4 rounds, I felt, Wladimir was actually holding the centre ring quite well. He was looking light on his feet, just trying to line up that right hand, making Joshua miss. The first 4 rounds, you could have it however you really wanted. 2-all, 3-1 Joshua, maybe 3-1 Klitschko. I wasn't really scoring because I was watching it with a bunch of half-drunk fucking lads. So the first 4 rounds were close. It was tactical. And it was a fight that I was expecting, really, like a tactical fight, but still compelling, That's what I was expecting. Wladimir got a couple of right hands in rounds, I think, 3 and 4. Joshua got a couple of right hands in, got a couple of body shots in. He was falling short a lot, but he was keeping it competitive because he was throwing more punches, though he was missing a lot. The first 4, you could have scored it however you wanted, really, whatever you're looking at, But round 5, Joshua comes out fast and hurts Wladimir at the start of a round, I believe, with a right hand, I want to say. He jumps all over Wladimir. Vladimir's reeling around the ring on his back foot like he used to, like he did against opponents when he got hurt before. He was sort of backing up, chin in the air, panicking a bit, and Joshua sort of swarmed him and got him down. Wladimir then proceeds to get back up. Joshua tries to finish him, and AJ is then caught by a big, I think it's a right hand from Klitschko, which really stunned Joshua, and Klitschko really closed the round out well. It was actually looking like AJ was on the verge of being stopped. He looked out on his feet, he looked gassed, and Wladimir was finding a home for that right hand down the pipe. It was landing quite well. So round 5 was an excellent round. Joshua obviously won the round because of a 10-8, but Klitschko came back and maybe done more damage. He really hurt Joshua in that round. And round 6, again, Wladimir trying to force the pace, comes out strong, popping that jab, looking for that right hand, and he countered Anthony Joshua with a right hand, bang on the chin, and it dropped Anthony Joshua hard. It was a hard knockdown, but Joshua, he got up, he beat the count, showed grit, determination, and he saw out the round. Wladimir was looking really strong at this point, and he got to the end of round 6. Round 7, Joshua was just kind of staying away, just kind of regroup him. Wladimir didn't take advantage of what he'd done in the previous round. He should have really put more pressure on AJ in round 7 to give him another hard round. And maybe looking back on it, Wladimir should have really threw some body punches as well in those rounds, because when Joshua was hurt, he was always looking for the head, and AJ at that point was looking physically tired. So maybe looking back, he should have gone to the body. We know that's something Klitschko doesn't do that, but I'm sure he can. You know, he's a pro boxer. Maybe he should have went to the body. But round 7, you know, Wladimir was stalking, not really letting his hands go that much. But and Joshua was just trying to sort of stay away. Round 8, I felt Joshua had a better round. He tried to be a bit more proactive, looking for those right hands, looking to make things happen. But quite an even round. Round 9, more of the same. Round 10, I felt Joshua started to get a second wind. I felt he won the round, lands a couple of good right hands. And round 11, man, is where it all happened. Immediately at the start of the round, Joshua catches Klitschko, I think, with a right hand. Hurts Klitschko bad. And proceeds to sort of tee off on him, try to get that knockout shot. Klitschko then gets dropped, beats the count, gets up, he gets railed with a massive uppercut. I think that might have been before the knockdown actually, but he got railed with a massive uppercut, which really signalled the end for Wladimir. It was over at that point. Joshua knocked him down twice in that round. The second knockdown was harder. He sort of fell backwards on his back, whereas the first knockdown in round 11, he kind of just sort of crumbled to the ground on his knees kind of thing. But the second knockdown was a bit harder. But Wladimir did beat the count when he got knocked down for the third time. He got up like a warrior and he tried to fight on. And Joshua at this point was smelling blood. And he cornered Wladimir and teed off on Wladimir and finished him off. The referee jumped in to stop the fight. I've heard a couple of people say it was too early. I don't think so, man. I felt Wladimir was spent at that point. I didn't think he had anything left. So what a fight, man. It was a tremendous fight, and I think it's a really fitting way to... It's a great way for it to end, because I know a lot of people don't like Wladimir, but he didn't... For the career he's had, he didn't deserve to be blasted out of there, you know, like a chump. We know Wladimir, and by the way, Wladimir is not shot. Based on last night's performance, I would pick him to beat Joseph Parker. And I'd pick him to beat Deontay Wilder on last night's performance. Vladimir's not shot. He's past his best, but he's not shot. He's still got the capabilities to beat a lot of these guys in the heavyweight division who have belts. So Vladimir's not shot. He's past his best, but still a very good fighter. So I'm pleased that Wladimir just didn't get blasted out, because I just think he deserves more than that. And he went out on his shield like a warrior, and he done himself a lot of credit. And people, it's funny because he's getting more credit in a loss than he's got for a lot of his career, which is unfortunate, because Wladimir was a good fighter. He was a very good fighter. But that's how boxing works, you know. Fans are fickle. It is what it is. Anthony Joshua, man, this guy, he's a tremendous ambassador for boxing. He brings in the fans. He's got an exciting style. He is vulnerable, but he's got a hell of a heart. He's just a joy to watch, really, in heavyweight boxing. And Joshua's got, and this was Joshua in 19 fights. You know, Joshua is still not at his best. He's still going to improve. And he beat Wladimir Klitschko. Whether it's past his best or not, he still beat a very good Wladimir Klitschko in his 19th fight when he's raw. You know, let's look at the other champions in the division and other sort of notable fighters. Tyson Fury, who did he fight in his 19th fight? Who did Deontay Wilder fight in his 19th fight? Who did Joseph Parker fight in his 19th fight? You know, who did Wladimir fight in his 19th fight? To do that in 19 fights, I think it's quite an achievement, in all honesty. And I think he's on the road to having a very successful career. Very successful career. Listen, where do both guys go now? I would like to see Wladimir hang him up. Personally, I would like to see him hang him up. Would I complain if we get a rematch? No, definitely not, because the first fight was so great. And he does have a chance to beat Joshua in a rematch if it's the same guy. He still hits very hard. It only takes one. Of course he has a chance, but I would end it at that. I really would. I would end it at that. He's had an excellent career. Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer. I would say he's a top 15 all-time great heavyweight. He's got nothing more to prove. He's got nothing more to prove, you know, and he can sort of ride off into the sunset and retire. But if he did want to continue, I still think he has a bit more in the tank. I would still like. Listen, Wladimir can do what he wants, really, but I would just like to see him retire personally. Anthony Joshua, where does he go? This guy's got so many options. Obviously, Wladimir Klitschko, a rematch is possible, I suppose. I think that's do big numbers again. I would definitely watch it. Wladimir Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua 2. Tremendous fight. You've got, obviously, the unification fights. Joseph Parker, Deontay Wilder. Excellent fights. Excellent fights. And they're not gimmies. A lot of people are acting like Joshua's going to steamroll those guys. He won't steamroll them. They hit very hard. They're very athletic. They're flawed, but as is Joshua, you know, they're both very good fighters. Joseph Parker and Deontay Wilder. I would make Joshua a favourite over those guys, but I don't think either of those fights are gimmies. Deontay Wilder's proved he could be losing every second of every minute of every round, and he could just land that one shot and knock you out. And as for Joseph Parker, I've always felt Joseph Parker has been underrated by certain fans. You know, people said that he struggled against Carlos Takam and Andy Ruiz. But again, I mean, Ruiz was undefeated. And Takam, nobody has an easy fight with Takam. So, you know, he raised his levels of competition and it got harder. It's natural. And he's still young. He still can improve. Both Parker and Deontay Wilder are tough fights for Anthony Joshua. But they're fights I'd love to see. Unification fights. Excellent fights. So the unification fights are there, the Klitschko rematch is there, and the biggest fight out there in British boxing, period, is Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. And that will divide the nation because there's a lot of people who love Anthony Joshua, who rate him highly, who just can't get enough of Joshua, and there's a lot of people who love Fury. It'll be one of those fights that divides the nation. Listen, I'll be rooting for Anthony Joshua if that fight happens. I'll be rooting for Anthony Joshua over every single heavyweight. I've always said on this channel that Joshua's one of my favourite fighters, and a lot of people have had doubts about Joshua, and I felt although he didn't erase them last night, he definitely done a bit to prove to people that he's not just a hyped up sort of manufactured champion. He proved that he wasn't that. He proved that he had heart. He proved he had a good chin. He proved that he could cope in a crisis. And that didn't come as a surprise to me because I've been telling everyone who says those things. Look at his amateur career. Look at Joshua's amateur career. He fought some of the biggest punchers in amateur boxing. You know, guys like Roberto Camarelli. Guys like Magomed Majidov, who was viewed as one of the biggest punchers of the last 10 years in amateur heavyweight boxing. So Joshua's proven he can take a punch, and I don't know where this whole idea of that he was chinny came from. I don't know where this that theory came from. Joshua's not chinny. He's got a decent chin. He's not infallible. He obviously got dropped against Klitschko. He got hurt against White. But guess what? He pulled through it, and he took some licks in after that knockdown, and he took them. And he's proved that he has heart. He proved that he had a decent chin. And one thing, people said that Joshua never handled the Dillian White knockdown well. I disagree with that. He got through the round and he pretty much bossed for the rest of the fight. He got through that quite well as far as I was concerned. Some of the criticisms I never really agreed with. But yeah, it is what it is, man. Joshua, he's the world's his oyster right now, and you know, the unification fights, the Klitschko rematch, a dream bout against Tyson Fury's out there, and obviously his mandatory challenger is Kubrat Pulev. And Pulev's not a bad fighter, but we want to see. I think after that you want to see the mega fights, man. You want to see the mega fights, but you might have to get Pulev out of the way. And obviously Luis Ortiz is also waiting in the wings, so some interesting options out there. I'll be anxious to see what Joshua does next. What do you guys think of the fight? And what do you want to see next? Peace.